I like awkwardly try to put my arm up here, but it's like so high that it doesn't look casual.
I'm really sweating. Like,
I'm
this
also
is a really bad idea. I can't do this. And this is basically like having IBS, but not actually.
It's like forcing yourself to
Yeah. It's been a while since I've sat here, and I actually have a friend this time. It's not just me sitting talking to the camera. Basically just felt like making a video on one of the few topics that I have not spoken about before. You know my channel, and I've spoken about
everything.
Yeah. And this is the one thing that I was always a little bit like, I don't know, do people really need to know about this? I mentioned how IBS is kind of embarrassing, and you were like, no, it's not. Like, let's talk about it, and you just laid it all out on the table. I thought, well, you know what, let's just make a video about IBS. Let's face the fear. And Candy, this is basically just an excuse to have you on my channel because you are new to YouTube and I feel like you need to be properly introduced to the community. So go check Candy's channel out. It's all health and fitness and advice and great stuff like that. And we also made a video on her channel about the pills, so go check that out. So instead of boring you with all the medical details, if you don't know what IBS is, a quick Google search will tell you that IBS is irritable bowel syndrome. It is a common disorder that affects the large intestine. Signs and symptoms include cramping, abdominal pain, bloating, gas, and diarrhea or constipation, or both. They did not include nausea, which is something that I get with that as well. So why I think it's really important to talk about IBS, and thank you so much for encouraging me to do so. When I first started getting symptoms, I thought something was really, really wrong with me. And I suffered through it for a while, thinking I had a terrible, terrible stomach bug. And went to doctors. They would give me pills like Imodium to stop me going to the loo all the time. Some of them even went as far as saying I would recommend that you go and see a specialist and have a colonoscopy and all these things. And it was getting to that stage, and my mom actually came in. She was like, wait, I think you might have IBS because it's linked to a lot of mental health issues, and my mom had it. And once I finally found out that I had IBS, it was almost just like, I could relax. Like, this is what I have. It's not a nice thing, but it's not, you know, me having some terrible disease that I'm going to die, basically.
And it's something that you can fix.
Yeah. Let's start off with a quick rundown of when we first got IBS. Do you remember the first time where you're like, no, what's going on with me?
I think I definitely suffered at school. I think everyone kind of gets that, whether it's a test or an oral or a bully. Can be anything. I would get very anxious, I'd get the sweats almost, then my stomach would hurt and I would be on the toilet for the rest of the morning. It was actually only until I started my health and fitness journey and started doing my own research into gut health, which I actually do have a vlog about, so I don't know if you want to link it up here. There's tons of questions answered from my social media platform. Only after I started feeling and actually being intuitive with my body and doing my own research did I realize that I was suffering from IBS.
Actually, you know when the first time it happened to me, I've just remembered. So the first time I ever drank alcohol, I remember the next morning I woke up and I had to go to the loo and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm allergic to alcohol. It was like the worst experience from having that first time experience with alcohol.
And then having IBS.
It was really bad. And then it started creeping up on me sometimes in the mornings before school. When things were tough, it would happen. And I never really put two and two together until it got really bad when I was at university. I think it was just the big move away from home.
That's a really good point because that is a trigger.
Exactly. And that's when I ended up going to all the doctors and stuff, and my mom was like, wait. We think we know what this is. And I've managed to manage it over the years. And
that's great.
We're going to go into that in a little bit, but how did you manage it through diet?
The easiest way I can say is an elimination diet.
Okay.
So first, getting an awareness of the foods that would trigger IBS,
like
no
coffee.
matter.
Like, don't drink coffee. I shouldn't be drinking this, but
yeah. So coffee is one of them. Alcohol is one of them, which you pointed out. Caffeine can also be found in things like chocolate, which I just had before this. So elimination diet. So taking out the generic things that would irritate us. So that's sugar, alcohol, caffeine, gluten,
all the fun
dairy,
stuff.
All the things that, like, you can live your best life, basically.
Take it out. Bad.
But it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Because not being in pain afterwards is way better than having a good cup of coffee.
Though sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm going to have this and like have IBS afterwards just because it's going to be so worth it. I've done it before where I've just found myself arriving at a cafe and they're like, what do you want? I'm like, double flat white. And then I just know it. The moment I've had some, I like run to the loo and I'm like, okay, here we go. And you know, I think that's one of my coping mechanisms is it's like, I know it's going to happen. So I'm just going to go through it. I've done this so often. I'm not going to die. Let's just go through it. And it actually, but that's how I do it.
But that's the thing, is also knowing. So being aware of it and actually knowing it leaves, so, like, how can I say it? It takes a huge weight off. So just knowing that you have IBS and understanding that it's not it is a big issue, but if it's a once-off thing, like you treating yourself to a coffee, it's not the end of the world, basically.
Yeah. So for me, I've been, as you can probably tell, I have coffee. So I don't really care so much about eliminating foods to try and get rid of it. Look, I've tried doing things like that, and I have had minor improvements here and there. But what I've really found to be the most effective is when I just realized that I've got IBS now because I'm anxious about something. And so the way that I've dealt with my anxiety over the years has been to obviously go and see a therapist and a psychiatrist and things like that. And so over the years I've been able to manage my IBS and kind of keep it at bay, if you know what I mean. And when it creeps back in, I always know that something's up, you know, and some things will trigger it. Like whenever I go to the bank and have to stand in a queue, like I just get IBS. It's just something, I don't know why.
I had the best IBS story. It's really not the best. And it's been happening a lot recently. My diet's been fine, and this is why it links to having anxiety, or maybe just a changed environment, I don't know. But recently I've been training new clients at the Sea Point Promenade, and there are no toilets open at 6 to 7. No.
I've had these things before where there's no toilet, but
And it hits me at 6:05 as I've just started a session, and I have to hold my bowels for an hour.
A therapist told me that our bowel is like our second brain, and they're actually linked up. So when your brain goes, it's just like the flight or fight situation.
100%.
So I can't say that very well. Flight or fight. So they trigger each other. So it just makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It makes so much more sense to me, and I really urge people who think that they've got something wrong with them and they say, oh, my tummy, and I think I've got this bug and that bug, like to really look into it and to see, okay, maybe it is IBS. And there are things on the market that sort of treat IBS, like you get pills that say for IBS. And I've tried some of them, but I don't know if anything's been amazing. I've always just gotten like bored of taking them because I felt they haven't worked.
I think as long as it's natural.
Yeah, exactly. No, it has to be something natural. Try it out at least.
It might not work, but I found like having a tonic in the morning, like an apple cider vinegar.
Wow, that's cool.
Tonic before I eat helps. Kind of like wakes your body up. I'm not sure if I'm 100% sold on the lemon water though.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, I thought we'd do like things that IBS have taught us. Just funny little things that you can think of, because I have a few. IBS and I have been friends for a while. Enemies, I mean.
Frenemies.
Frenemies.
You can go first.
IBS has taught me that I need to take care of myself more.
Yes. I think IBS has definitely taught me to do research before I just take the facts in. Like, because everyone is different and you will know your body best, so do your own research. 100%.
IBS has also taught me, just like any difficult time, it's going to be shit, but you're going to get through it because you have done before. You know, you'll get out the other side alive.
Oh, out the other side. That you are not fat, you are just bloated.
Yes, that's a good one.
You know what it has taught me though? Is to be perfectly fine with who I am. And I know that sounds weird, but for example, if I go to like a social event, like Christmas coming up now, I can't eat a lot of the stuff. So I need to be fine with that and not doubt myself when I get teased, because my boyfriend used to tease me.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So it makes you a stronger, more robust person. Stand up for your rights when it comes to non-gluten. So we really hope that this video has helped you understand IBS a little more, and if you think you might have IBS or you have any questions around IBS, let us know in the comment section. The two of us are going to reply like mad under all your comments, so be sure to write something. And we hope that, I don't know, this has taught you something, or you just felt less alone, because a lot of people have IBS. I mean, I'm not going to go and look up the stat, but I feel like a fair amount of you are probably going, me too. So we're all in this together. Lots of love, see you soon, and go check out that video on Candy's channel. Bye.